Hey guys, welcome back to this Mr. YouTube channel. Today, finally got the Mark II pushed in. And what we're gonna be doing today is beginning the progress to get the 3.6 into the car. We're gonna be removing all this, brake, suspension, subframe, all that. So the first steps are, you can see this is a shifter linkage setup. So all the bolts are in there and we got to get rid of the shifter anyway. So the very first thing we're going to do is drop this heat shield out of the tunnel. I'll keep it. I don't know if we'll put it back in the car. It's just out for now. So yank this out and then pull the shifter out with all the shifter linkage. Toss that in the trash and then we'll start on this stuff. So there's a bunch of things you got to do. You got to take off the steering column stuff. You gotta take off power steering lines, brake lines. There's a bunch of stuff you gotta take out, so just be cautious of that. It's a lot of stuff. And the whole point of this is so we can put the Mark III subframe in, which we refreshed over here. We just gotta get that up into the car. All right, so it's just a bunch of 13s. Crank them off real quick. The shifter was just stuck from being in there forever, so we just came in, hammered that out. One thing we gotta do, since it's already down, we might as well just disconnect the columns out. Just kind of push the grommet. Now I gotta yank the wheels off because we have to disconnect the brake lines. So now all the hard parts are done. Power steering reservoir, you can just pop it up. That'll come out. So now brake lines are disconnected. Steering rack is disconnected. All we have to do is drop the struts, which are up here. I think it's a 22 I think, or 24. Drop those out and then we'll we'll lower it down. And I'm gonna put it on the little table I got over here. Just crank it up to it, blast them out. It's that easy. So if you guys are doing this and an engine's in the car, obviously engine mount, trans mount, so you have to support the engine. You just put a bar up or you can use a jack. I recommend using both. And same process basically, except you would have to take axles out. Set up the cart and get ready to take this out. There's 4 bolts. You get one through this control arm, one's on the back there into the body of the car. They're all 19s. They are special front to back, so keep in mind that, but I believe they're like pretty different long lengths. Need a new bolt for that. Another crusty bolt. Don't forget your strut bolt. One thing. Pop loose this 13 right here. It might make it a little easier on ourselves. Pretty much everything's just going in the trash. What I am going to do is just run out these bolts just in case I ever need them again. And I'll also run out these front control arm bolts because those are always good things to have. So I'll just yank out the struts real quick and then finish lifting it up. I just don't want it to flip over right now. I don't have an extra set of hands. Now there's nothing really we can use from this. I already took out all the bolts that I would need. That made sense to yank out, and then I might take this power steering bottle, but that's about it. All this will just go right into the back of my scrap parts car out back. So the main difference between these two subframes is the sway bar mount and the engine and trans mount stuff. Now I think the trans mount's actually pretty close. It's really just this engine mount right here that's the main difference. But you can see the sway bar ends right here on a Mark II. On a Mark III, it continues on for another bolt. And what this does is it kind of locks the sway bar in better, because this piece can walk a little bit. What I have done is when I have this up in the car, I drill a hole and I put a rib nut. It'll be like back here in this area, and that way I can add one more bolt into the subframe. It definitely helps for sway bar rigidity. So in that theory, it keeps the front wheels on the ground much nicer than not having it like the Mark II. Now what I have to do is find a couple bolts, because the front bolts were good, rear bolts were not. I might be able to clean these up and just wire wheel them, but we'll see. I gotta see how it looks underneath. I started putting in the Mark III subframe, and because I'm planning to put the engine in, but then I decided, well, you might as well get rid of everything you don't need in the engine bay. So now I'm going through cutting a bunch of stuff on the quest of weight reduction. Already removed the wipers, already removed a couple brackets, already removed tow hooks that used to be down there. I'm going around nipping off all these studs that I don't need, cutting off. And basically anything I don't need is coming out. This little bracket here, extra screws, all nibs, all extra brackets. And the number one thing is the rain tray. What I've been doing is I go in here, I find OEM spot welds, see a little deviation. There's another one right there. Whack them with a punch, and then you get yourself a spot weld cutter. And remember, it's 2 pieces of metal, so you don't want to go all the way through. Cut the first metal, take your scraper, stick it up between the metal, pry it out. I'm gonna get as many of these as I can. What I can't get over here, we will just wind up cutting, and then cutting the rest out over here and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna be in this for a while. I'll basically just put you on time lapse and show you when I've got it out. That was a lot more than I anticipated, but the rain tray is out. Still have a ton more to cut out. It's probably 2.5 hours cutting this out. Obviously you could only get spot welds so far, and then the strut towers are their own issue because they're spot welded here and all the way down the side. So basically what I did was, when I got here, I would take the chisel and I would chisel in between the spot welds to pry it out. Then I would take my body saw and I would just put it behind, you know, between the rain tray and the body, and I'd cut through the spot weld and then chisel the next one out like that. So that took a while, and I got a lot more grinding to do. There's no sense in just recording grinding. So yeah, I'll just run through, buzz off all the caulk I can, and just clean everything up. Once I'm done, then I'll probably move on to the other stuff and bring you guys and show you how I'm cutting that stuff out. But you see we got a decent amount of metal out. I took the booster out because I got to change it anyway, and I also got to change the pedal cluster. That'll be another video all on its own. But yeah, I just got a lot more to do, so I'm gonna continue on. It just takes a while. See you guys. That escalated very, very quickly. I am covered head to toe in just all kinds of stuff, metal, body caulking, just everything. But everything now is 100% cut out. Engine bay is how I need it now. We are still gonna have to modify. We're gonna have to beat in somewhere in this area to clear the crank pulley on a VR. This was just one of those things that if it wasn't done now, it probably never would have gotten done. you don't want to do this when your engine's in the bay, you know what I mean? So everything's out. Have the booster out right now. That's something that I have to think about. There are people that have like manual brakes. I don't know how much weight that saves. I want to weigh that and see how much it actually is. See if it's worth it, because that booster is cooked, but I can get another booster relatively cheap, probably for like $100, and just throw a booster in. But it's a job for another day. So now I'm just gonna clean this stuff up and then get back to what we originally planned to do, which was install the subframe. So after this is all cleaned up, I'll just put red spray paint on stuff to just kind of make everything look uniform. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, see you guys in a minute.